Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to episode 3 of F1 Match 24 here as Mercedes. Here at the main HQ screen. Mentality Hub, mostly neutral. Biggest issue, team race results for Jeddah. For George, that's a given considering he crashed out. Lewis kind of neutral about all things. Speaking of Lewis, we do need to find his replacement still, as I mentioned last episode. And as you noticed in the first episode, I can't read. He is still going to Ferrari in 2025. Did have a couple scouting reports actually get wrapped up here. Was looking at potentially Gasly and Ocon. Both cost about the same. Have 10 months left on their contract. Right now, not interested in negotiations, but both could be young drivers to pair with George pretty well. Ocon is pretty well-rounded. His accuracy is pretty good. Gasly, not so much. So, of the two, I would go with Esteban Ocon. He's on my short list. However, Carlos Sainz, 10 months left on his contract. Better overall, and a very solid driver. Currently, Car 2 driver for Ferrari. But we all know he's capable of churning out some wins himself. So, he's definitely on the short list. And we know Ferrari's or McLaren's drivers out of reach right now. Both would be perfect because we know they'd be developing at that young age to become even better drivers. Because George right now, I think he's kind of, I'm not saying stagnating, but compared to previous titles, he isn't going to develop as quickly. But let's see, got some more scouts available. I think what I want to do is another one. Pato Award. Hello. You know what? I'm gonna scout you. Yeah. That'd be interesting as all hell. Love Pato. Anyways, Albon, if you want to keep it kind of within the Mercedes power plant family. Alex Albon would be an interesting pickup. Though he's a bit older. He's about the same as Gasly and Ocon. And let's also take a look between F1 and F2 here. Jack Toohan's an affiliate there. Dennis Hauger. Let's scout you, see if we can bring you on as an affiliate. Gotta compete with Vesti for that role. Anyways, looks like side pods are complete. Well, they will be in one day here. As Andrea Kimi Antonelli improves up to 72. That's very good. He's our affiliate. Doesn't have a super license yet, so he's not going to be in the running for that seat next year. Maybe George's replacement 2 seasons. We'll see. All right, side pods are complete. I want to build 4 of these. And I don't think... Okay, we'll have the first one ready in 8 days. Don't want to develop them too quickly, only because, oh, well, that's a huge amount of money when we do an emergency now. That's good. All right, just gonna do it normal. Just develop the number that we need. Also, gonna replace some parts on George's car. What with him totally binning it. Jeddah. Suspension, change those. Gearbox and engine will change out in time for qualifying for him. Let's see. With that, we now can design a new part. If anything, I want to design, if it's like other games, you just want to dump everything into kind of like the cornering ability here. So go make a pretty sizable front wing change. Tire preservation, that'll help. Airflow sensitivity. Dirty air tolerance. We need those. Actually dial them back a little bit. Actually, can we kind of just space this out a little? kind of well-rounded. Build it like that. $29 days. What's in 29 days? Won't be ready in time for Suzuka. Maybe China. So I'm fine with that. Won't have it in time for Suzuka. Get that design cooking. Got some more facility upgrades coming in. Only 15 million in the bank, though. Investing Andrea, Kimi, and Nelly. Yeah. Yeah, we're sponsoring him. Like, yeah. Right, boardroom upgraded. Underfloor upgraded. I'll build 4 of you. First one will be in 8 days. That'll be ready in time for Suzuka, at least. Not that desperate to throw it on right now. Suspension stock is low. Build 1. Right, scouting reports here are complete. Dennis Hauger. It's kind of well-rounded. Bring him in as an affiliate. How about that? 2 seasons. Signing bonus. We'll throw 80,000 at you. And you got time. Bit of a buyout fee there, but it's only from an F2 team, so that's fine. See what he says there. Let's check out our other scouting reports. Albon has 21 months left on his contract, so it won't be him. Beto Award, 9 months left. Again, could be an interesting get, but not committing to that. If anything, as of right now, because I don't want to pay a monster buyout. Well, actually, that buyout fee is not bad. So I guess the short list for Lewis's replacement next season, as of right now, is between Albon, Esteban Ocon, maybe outside shot for Pierre Gasly, and Carlos Sainz. But interested in your thoughts. Leave a comment down below and let me know of those 4 who you'd like, or if you have another suggestion. But anyways, going to keep moving on here. Looks like, actually, let's select our goals for the weekend. Car's okay with DRS effectiveness. Yeah, let's just take a quick look at what's favored here in Melbourne. DRS effectiveness, not great, so we're probably just going to be at the back of the points again. Race targets. George, aim for P10. Not be aggressive. Lewis, we'll say P8. Off we go to Australia. Yeah, practice is in the books in Melbourne. Both drivers feeling decently prepared here. 77% for George, 79% for Lewis. Pace-wise, Aston might be down a little bit from the previous 2 weeks, but they're behind us anyway. Don't have any new parts in the car. I figured I could throw the new side pods on for Lewis, but it's like I might just want to wait for both of them, or for both of them to have side pods available so George doesn't have another crying fit. La-di-da, you know how that goes. Yeah, off we go to Q1. See you at the end. And as expected, P7, P8 for us. George does have grid penalty from his crash in Saudi Arabia. Other grid penalty for the race weekend is for Logan Sargent, who's eliminated anyway. Also eliminated both Alpines. Sargent's teammate Alex Albon and Zhou Guanyu. Leading the way there, Sergio Perez over Carlos Sainz. McLaren was pretty quick in practice, so they may be a threat this weekend. Get back in top step of the podium. But gonna skip ahead a little bit to Q2. Depending on how we're sitting after the first flyer, maybe I'll just go right to the results, or we'll see if we need to bump our way in. Well, skipped ahead to the end of Q2. All I learned, Aston might have a little bit of pace here. They were P6 with Alonso, P8 with Stroll. Eliminated there. Sonoda, Hulkenberg, Carlos Sainz. A real surprising elimination there. Kevin Magnussen and Valtteri Bottas leading the way there. Verstappen over Perez. Got Lewis in P7, George in P9. Starting our final flyers now. Current lay of the land, Perez over Leclerc and Verstappen. George P6, decent lap time. Lewis got held up by traffic on his lap.
Clear track now.
Here we go, coming across the line now. Already past the line with George. Currently ahead of Alonso by 300ths of a second. Stroll also got held up by traffic on his lap. We're on scuffs right now. We're actually on brush softs. Perez, purple, sector 2. Ricardo improving on his laps. Stroll improving. Only one way to go up for Stroll, at least. George so far not improving in his first sector. Verstappen's going to finish P3. He will not be on the front row here. Lewis improving sector 1. Again, like Stroll, only one way to go, and that's up for him. Not improving sector 2, though. Around the final corner for George. Piastri's improving in sector 2. Cross line doesn't really improve. Stroll jumps up to P8. Final corner for Lewis. See if we could jump the Astons. And we do. Up to P6 for Lewis. I don't think Alonso was improving. Norris jumps up to P4. Here comes Piastri. Hometown hero stays P5. Ricardo. Don't think he's going to be improving in his home country either. So looks like Sergio Perez is going to be on pole. Yeah, Ricardo going to the pits over Leclerc and Verstappen. Well, it's race day now, and there's quite heavy rain expected. I think we're going to be starting on wets to begin with, but 3-place grid penalty for George. P10, not all that bad. So it looks like it's starting pretty heavy right now. Going to be raining pretty heavily through the whole race. So they got one-stop strategy. They expected to taper off towards the end, so we'll switch to inters at some point, although we could be rather fluid, no pun intended. I want to make that jump. Let's push a little from the get-go here. Let's get the Australian Grand Prix underway. Lewis started with P6, George from P10.
Ready for the Australian Grand Prix.
Monsoons are fun. Well, not really, but let's see here.
It's lights out and away we go.
Away we go. Visibility not that great here. George already up to P9. Snowda has bad parts on his car, looks like. You want to be wary about being aggressive with the car, because again, that does increase the risk of an incident like what we had in Saudi Arabia last week. But don't want to get the tires too cold, so that's going to be the balancing act here.
No, just any feedback on the condition.
Track is now damp. No, it's not. It's drenched. As Ricardo up around George. Just kind of want to rebound with George here. Not too worried about his current position. As Leclerc is faded to 4th, Verstappen up to P2, Piastri in P3. Allow we were expecting you to right there. Anyways, back with Lewis, has Alonso over the rear wing. Holding the base so far. As we're just going to be in a holding pattern for a while here in Melbourne. Someone ran
we
wide in
should
the
be
back.
able to
Looks like
take
it
a
was
look
Alex
here.
Albon here on lap 2.
It's obviously quite wet out there.
And one of our targets to potentially replace Lewis next season.
And there's the lockup. It's hard to be too
Didn't
critical when
touch
the
anything, at
drivers
least.
are facing these conditions.
Actually, I remember Albon. Well, that's all dependent on his buyout fee, but that's a story for some time outside of a race weekend. Was under attack by Alonso. Using a little bit of ERS here. Just to hang on to it. Sainz not making up much ground, still stuck in P13. And behind the somewhat damaged car of Tsunoda. Lap 12, and rain's starting to taper off a little bit. I know our weather center's not that well upgraded. It's actually got to keep tire temps in check for George. He's been pretty aggressive on the tires.
Yep, fine.
Yeah, the most we had was about 5.6 millimeters on the track. Now we're down to 4.3. That's decreasing in a hurry. Rain is expected to pick back up at some point, though, so premature jump into the intermediates. But Lewis still in his own little area
Flat out.
in P6. Overall, Checo has a 2.5 second lead over Verstappen. Further 4 seconds back to Oscar Piastri. Trying to get a podium in this home race. Yeah, Lewis is about 3 seconds off from Lando Norris. 5 seconds clear of Fernando Alonso. George was hanging with Daniel Ricciardo. Currently a 1.5 seconds behind now. But 5 seconds clear of the Haas of Nico Hülkenberg. Track condition change to damp. Interested to see if anybody wants to make the move on over. Highly doubt it.
Available. Okay.
Well, the rain has not picked up and still in damp conditions right now. Tires getting dangerously hot for both drivers. It's trying to back the pace way off. With that, George has Carlos nipping at his heels. As just really wondering, as looks like Leclerc just fell to P5. Lando just got past him. Really wondering when the rain is going to pick up, if it's even really going to pick up. Definitely going to be looking at further weather center upgrades soon, but it's picking up just a little. Lando now has fastest lap. Just got to sit and wait. I love waiting. Love it. Lap 17, Carlos is right there on George. But we are catching up to Ricciardo, though.
So happy to drop lift and coast.
As the Red Bulls are trading fastest lap as Verstappen's caught right up. Here comes Carlos taking a look. Here from the blimp cam, and there he goes. George nearly went a little wide there. Drops to P11. Issue with the underfloor. What did you do?
Copy that. We'll have a look.
Can't really fix that, so. Damn it, George.
Yeah,
This
right.
worked for us.
It certainly looks like they've developed a fault.
Fernando Alonso. That wasn't much of a replay. Issue on that lead Aston Martin. Not sure exactly what that's about, but tires once again getting very hot for George.
Need to increase the level of lift and coast.
Yeah, copy.
And that shouldn't, or the amount we push shouldn't really affect the tires, you wouldn't think, but just kind of being wary with it. Hülkenberg's still 6 seconds behind George. Not too worried about that. Well, lap 22, finally get George back in the points, up around Ricciardo. Still watching the
So
tires though
currently
with the temperature,
P10.
but using some ERS to
So
get up
Sainz
around him.
car ahead. So gap ahead is 4.
Should be coming up to the pit window very, very soon here.
Gap 0.2.
Let's just let them cook the tyres.
They're already a second ahead as cars starting to come in the pits. That might just about be our cue. Hulkenberg's in. Throwing the intermediates on. Really, we probably could have thrown him on earlier, but I guess we'll kind of keep track of his lap time, see how he does.
So we can start to use this tyre.
Already a second and a half. George over Daniel. Any leaders coming in just yet? Doesn't appear to be the case, so I'm fine with our commitment of staying out with Lewis right now. As yeah, it's about in range for the Inters. It's on the higher end of that range. Here's a new one, lap 23 puncture for Pierre Gasly. Already run towards the very end. Looks like the left rear throwing sparks there. Should see him in the pit. Or no, he's just going to keep dragging that tire carcass around. Okay. Well, didn't turn a quick one there for Hulkenberg, a 39. Probably need to see at the end of this lap, see how that does, although he is stuck behind.
And there's been a slow
Kicks out
pit
right
stop.
now.
And happy to pick up the pushing level.
They were just like churning through their tires. Yes, so. Everyone's just worried about like flying off with them. Maybe that's a glitch. I don't know. It's like our pace kind of seems like about what it should be anyway. Anyways, Carlos Sainz coming into the pits. We'll be switching to the intermediates. And it might be just about that time. It is starting to dry out here. So Lewis going to bring him into the pits here on lap 24. Piastri, first car of the leaders to come in. Going to keep Norris out. Leclerc also staying out, looks like. Bring in George on this lap as well. Here comes Lewis in the pits.
Copy, box.
Has that damaged Alpine right in front. .8. Yeah, we got some floating intermediates right there. That's fun.
Traffic on exit.
Here comes George into the pits.
Will be slippery on pit exit.
Copy.
All right, no mistakes here. That's all I want. 2.9. It's slow, but that's okay.
P8. Stroll ahead. Gap at 2.6.
Sainz with a real big jump there, but Sainz still 12 seconds behind Lewis.
So
Okie doke.
currently P11.
Just get the tires up to temp.
Car ahead there is Sainz.
Push on. Just jumping ahead lap 26 for Verstappen down the pits. Inherited the lead from Perez. Perez probably gets the undercut with better tires there. Verstappen down the way. Looks like Sainz jumped the Aston Martins. George still in P10. 6 seconds behind is Ricardo. As Checo with a big, big jump. Interested to see if Max can take that back at any point. It's Leclerc exiting the pits ahead P5, ahead of Lewis. Bottas with a puncture. Let's go and bail us out a little bit. Just past halfway, turn 13. Carlos Sainz. He's going to go wide. Yes, he does. Was tracking down Lewis. Was potentially going to get there by the end of the race, but that'll kick a further 3 seconds on there. So Lewis trailing Leclerc by 4.5 seconds. As we've got 12.5 seconds over Sainz with Lewis right now. George just under 2 seconds to the trailing Aston Martin of Lance Stroll. Not much action been going on. Lap 35 now. As Magnussen goes for a spin. Why did the camera get all funky like that? That was weird. Just kind of monitoring up from the sky here. Nothing much changing. Russell not closing on Stroll. Lewis keeping Sainz at bay. Almost 20 to go. Well, almost at 10 to go. And Carlos has caught up in a hurry. Only 1.2 seconds behind Lewis. Probably going to be a sitting duck here. Everyone's tires about even. Turns out that Ferrari's really good in the rain. As we're now trailing by 15 seconds over Leclerc, or behind Leclerc. But just a matter of time until he gets us, it looks like. We are just one lap later, right in the turn 1. Ferrari alongside. Ooh, might have good defense here. Hanging on. Deploy a little bit of that, stay ahead.
Overtake is available.
If we could just drop back a bit.
Try keeping him ahead. Gonna give it another go here. Running low on battery though with 6 to go. Trying to get as much battery as we can back into this thing. Trying to set a harvest, not trying to hurt the lap times that bad. Verstappen has taken the lead over Perez. Now holds a 2-second lead. It was probably too good to last for him. Ricciardo now pitting. It's like a downpour going on right now. That wasn't on the radar. Begs the question. Probably should put that to standard for George.
And if you can just cool the tyres as much as you can.
Copy.
Wondering if anyone wants to pit. Ricciardo pitted, but I mean, he wasn't in striking distance at the points or anything, so a bit intrigued to see if anything changes here. Highly doubt anything's going to change with leaders, though. Oh, Sainz coming into the pits. Okay. Guess they really are expecting a downpour with 5 to go here. Yep, wet tires going on. Track conditions formally changed to wet with 3 laps to go. Carlos still 16 seconds behind. I don't think he's going to make up that much time. Tire time's still okay right now. And no one else has come to the pit. Only drivers to pit for wet: Sainz, Ricciardo, Magnussen, Albon, Sargent, and Joe. So, puzzling.
And 3 laps.
1 to go up front for Max Verstappen. Lead now up to 3 seconds over Perez. Verstappen looking for a clean sweep. Also has fastest lap, so looking to maximize his points haul yet again this season. Red Bull 1-2, McLaren 3-4. Carlos closes to 10 seconds behind us. He's not going to make that up. 2 corners here, and then Lewis will take the white flag. George has his own little running lane in P10. 6.5 behind Stroll. 13 clear Ricciardo, who's not going to make up any distance or much distance on the wet tire. Keeping everything in check tire-wise.
1 more lap.
Oh, Carlos did take 3 seconds out right there. Halftime difference of It's 5 seconds quicker. Not too concerned here. Maybe we could turn that up a little bit. Just for safety's sake.
And it's cushion.
Final set of corners coming up here for the lead Red Bull. Oh, he's just crawling through there on the inters. Off the final corner, Max Verstappen, your victor in the 2024 Australian Grand Prix. As Carlos now down to 4 seconds behind Lewis. Still don't think he'll catch.
Max
Ricardo,
Verstappen
first car
over
down
the
laps,
finish
only 10
line
cars in the lead
and
lap.
Today's winner.
Next Piastri, geez. Oscar Piastri on the podium at his home race. Carlos closing. It's not going to be enough. 2 seconds behind. That should be about it.
Cars in good nick.
Understood.
And we're going to hang on just in time. Best finish of the season for us. Lewis P6. Just going to speed things up. George going to claim P10. Don't think anything's going to happen to Naston here.
Final position.
Look down your podium there. Verstappen over Perez and Piastri. Rest of the field, Norris, Leclerc, Hamilton. Signs up 6 spots. Then you got Alonso, Stroll, Russell. Rest of the field, Ricardo, Tsunoda, Hulkenberg, Magnussen, Ocon up 4 spots. Bottas, Albon, Sargent. Zhou Guanyu, Pierre Gasly finishing dead last. Driver standings, again, another maximum points haul. So a 36-point lead for Verstappen over new second-place driver Lando Norris. Carlos Sainz drops 2 spots as Checo moves up to P3. Lewis stays P7 in the standings. Fernando jumps up 3 spots to 8th. George is still in P9. 20 points to Lewis, 5 points to George. Constructors, McLaren jumps up to P2 as they now lead Ferrari by 5 points, but they are still, just doing math in my head, 39 points behind Red Bull. We're staying P4 as we gain more points than Aston Martin, but still considerable ways to get up to the top 3 there. Top 10 pit stops. Fernando Alonso led the way with a 2.4. We're not in the top 10. That's okay. Overall standings, McLaren. Not the fastest this week. Williams fastest overall. Let's jump up to P2 in the DHL fastest pit stop competition. Manufacturer complete of the new suspension part, or old suspension part. Jared Murphy up to 87 for ahead of Arrow. That's very good. Japan up next. A somewhat quick turnaround there of 2 weeks. Mostly enthusiastic, everyone. There we go. George still kind of being a stick in the mud. Something I realized, we actually could develop another new part. Got something working on the front wing. Want to work on cornering. So why don't? Rear wing would take a while. Why don't we work on the suspension? Just dump the rest of everything into there. Design focus. Maybe that'll help. Take a little bit out of it. It's not going to be that big of an upgrade, but every little bit's going to help here. 4 on there. Don't rush it. See, that's designed 26 days. That should be ready for Miami. And only $1 million. So, all right, that'll be ready. And we should have enough parts in the car by Japan to finally throw the new upgrades on. So, be interested to see the pace then. Any other emails got to look at? Australia feature race. Jack Crawford, your winner in F2. Oliver Gote. Not saying that right. That's for sure. F3 race podium there. Yeah, that's going to do it for this episode. Episode 3. Episode 4. Things should be starting to get a little bit quicker. Hopefully, can get better than P6 and finally get some good results for George. But if you're brand new to the channel, please be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when the next episode comes out. And to everybody, thank you for watching.